Okay, y'all, I took another trade today for a bigger loss. Lost 4,200 on the day, the biggest loss I've actually ever had, which is crazy because my first trade today, I used a 20 lot size. My second trade today, I used a 10 lot size and still lost more than my first trade. And so that's one of my problems, actually my only problem with ICT concepts. So there's just times where like the market structure shift will happen and it'll be super small. Honestly, like the trade yesterday, this market structure shift right here on the 1 minute is so tiny that your risk to reward is so small. But the one today, it's just so much bigger that you can't really do 10 to 15 pips every time because there was a fair value gap here and there was a fair value gap up here at the time. So like I wanted my stop loss below this low because I got in late. I was at the gym. We got market structure shift. It came back down to this fair value gap and it was up here. So I got in up here. And then I got in one more 5 lot contract when it got into this fair value gap to keep going up. I marked this because this is a premium. This probably would have been my take profit if it went, which is so funny because Zaki Trader on TikTok or YouTube, I follow him on TikTok, but I don't know if he's on YouTube. He traded NAS 100 and it actually went like all the way up here. And he took this same trade for $8,000 gain. That's what I'm saying. Like, also when guys are like, trade with the trend, trade with the trend. Why were you? Some people might be like, why were you looking for buy? You should have been looking for sells today, not buys. But we're still in the uptrend. We just hit all-time highs. Like, yeah, we're kind of going down from here in the last few days, but technically we are still in an uptrend. So it's like, and again, Zaki took buys and made $8,000. Some people took sells. They took some people took like this unicorn here, this breaker to the unicorn down, which is a decent trade as well. Again, I was looking to fill this gap, which gaps do always fill. It might fill tomorrow. Sometimes SPY will really just fill stuff like the same day. So this is a crazy day, but also just one of those days where like I don't like taking trades like this with the stop losses big like this. So I had a feeling I shouldn't have gotten into it. Also, should have been patient and wait for it to come down to this fair value gap. But there was 2 fair value gaps. And even ICT says to get into this one, if it comes to this one, oh, well, you get in another contract. Versus sometimes I will be impatient and now buy right at the breaker and not wait for it to come to the fair value gap, which is why my losses are bigger because I'm not waiting for it to come here. This would have been obviously a smaller stop loss from here to here versus the first one up here. That was the one that lost a lot of money. And then this one lost only like a few, like $200. And this one was the one that lost from here to here, like $2,000. So I'm still figuring out my lot sizes. Again, I know a lot of people use lot size calculators for every trade, which maybe I'll do eventually. I don't personally want to do that. I think I want to get to a lot size, like maybe like a 4 or a 5, where even the smaller trades, like my first trade I took with a small stop loss, will be around like a $400 or $500 loss, and the big ones will be like 1,000. So then I'm making for every 500, I'm making 1,000 to 1,500 a day, and then this one will be like a bigger, like 2,500 a day. If it's bigger like this, Andrew, I just won't take the trades like this. But again, on the 5 minute, it was looking like a really good setup. So I got in. Now I'm back. Also, I'm profitable. I started obviously 200K account. I was up. Now I'm only down 500 on the account. Obviously, I was up 13 grand, which is so funny because I remember this guy said that like he was $100 or $1,000 away from getting funded, not even just passing phase 1 or 2, and lost the account. I was like, how does that even happen? And I saw how that can happen when you have like your big win of 5 grand, like I did, and you weren't used to making that much money. And you kept trying to chase that. But yeah, like I said earlier, the quick scalp would have been a good trade earlier today. This quick scalp, I was up 1,500 on this on my original contract. This is one of those days where I'm trying to get my lot sizes down, because once I get it down to where I'm only losing 500 to 1,000 per trade, which I kind of am now, like you really have nothing to worry about per trade, and you just take every setup you see, whether it hits or not. Like this one, I don't want to lose 4 grand when something doesn't hit. You see what I'm saying? I need to be able to make it way less. So when I do win, it's more than when I lose. And yeah, this stop loss is really big, which I really said when I got into the trade. So even though I cut my lot size in half, I traded a 10. This was still double my loss from this trade here, which is insane. insane. That's the only thing about ICT that I don't like versus like retail or trend line breaks or whatever. You can do a 10, 15 pip stop loss every time, every time. I mean, some people do on ICT. I don't know how they do it. Maybe if they just order block trade, I guess, like wait for it to come to the order block instead of a fair value gap. But sometimes, like, there are times where it'll run all the way up and the fair value gap is way up here, but this is still the low. This is the previous low for the market structure shift back down. So it's a game. But obviously, if you're winning way more than you're losing, like when I'm 90%, like these big losses don't do anything either. You'll still be profitable. Like I've had like 4 or 5 big losses, and it took me like 3 weeks to lose all those gains I had. So it's still not bad, but I'm not really tripping on it. I thought it'd be emotional. My emotions are a lot better. It kind of is nice to be back down to where I started because it's giving me like a fresh start these next few weeks. Like once I get this lot size down to, again, where I'm losing just like 500, maybe 900 per trade, and then making 1,000 to 2,000 or even 1,000 to 1,500 is where I'm trying to be, where like 30 days I'll be funded if I just don't miss any, but at the same time, my losses aren't like setting me back. Like this loss literally set me back, you know? So yeah, today was a rough day. But like I said, some people made money literally on this up trade again on just NAS 100 or the NASDAQ. It's obviously kind of the same chart, but a little different. Obviously each broker too is different. Like some brokers, they could have got way up here and hit my take profit. My broker did not, you know. That's the thing about Forex, which I don't really like. I like the funded accounts, like I said. I like the payout structure and how you can trade one day a week and just take cash out, unlike futures. But a lot of the manipulation and things I don't really like about trading Forex, but you can't beat trading other people's money. So yeah, today was a gnarly day. And yeah, I am still going to be funded in 6 months, maybe 7. But yeah.